Okay, folks, so I have a book here called The Essential Marcus Aurelius, and I'm going to read a little excerpt from it because this is relevant to something I've replenished within my own, I guess you could call it a self regulating practice recently. So, at a certain point in his moral journey, Marcus Aurelius asked himself something like, do you desire to seek the approval of people who insult themselves 3 times a day? And then he more pointedly asked himself, do you seek the respect of people who don't even respect themselves? So if you find that you mentally tend to ruminate over, say, insults that somebody else has delivered to you, I want you to seclude yourself in isolation at some point and give yourself at least 15 to 45 minutes to perform this exercise in a focused way. And ask yourself whether whoever it is that has insulted you is someone who you truly respect on the basis of how they treat themselves and others. Within his meditations, Marcus Aurelius advises himself to really stare into the souls of others, especially when they mistreat you. Ask yourself, what is this person's, body fat percentage like? What's their credit card debt like? What's their most impressive intellectual achievement? What is their greatest pro-social contribution? That's my favorite one to think about. What are the ways in which they challenge themselves? Do they more often compare themselves to people better than them or just to people worse than them for the purpose of excusing their faults and faulty comfort zones? Just go on down the list of the ways in which this person does not actually hold themselves to high standards, and then ask yourself, why is it that they're just suddenly imposing various sorts of standards or intrusive questions upon me? Well, this sort of domineering, impulsive, hostile person is someone who is likely to die with various sorts of regrets due to their lack of self-awareness and self-regulation. Once you figure that out about someone, then regardless of how you behave in their presence, you might be agreeable to keep the peace because not every battle is worth fighting. You're going to realize that they're going to be heading in different directions to you. You are dealing with someone who is not psychologically equipped to keep themselves at peace and of service to those with whom they could have high reciprocity relationships. So, outwardly you may be agreeable in their presence just to shut them the hell up, but inwardly you might understand, oh, well, this person who insults me has never really known the touch of a woman, or, any number of things that indicate that there's something of value according to various criteria I might provisionally deploy as a means by which to gauge another man. Now, this is not preferable to just ignoring someone. I would say that once you reach a certain level of self-development, you can ignore an insult or an intrusive drive-by interrogation like, it's just a revolting smell or something. You can just ignore it. But this is just something to keep in mind on your personal journey. Stare into the souls of whoever it is who mistreats you and find out whether or not they're going to die without any regrets whatsoever through living on terms that keep their consciences at peace. If you find that you're dealing with someone who doesn't even live according to moral codes, they just live according to impulses, including an impulse to dominate you, then you're dealing with someone who's going to suffer miserably at some point, unless they're, a clinical psychopath or something, in which case they're probably going to end up with horribly pathetic life outcomes anyway. So, yeah, it's just something for you to think about, okay? Be well and stay sharp.